Anansi and the Wisdom of the World. Long ago, when the world was still young and filled with mystery, there lived a clever spider named Anansi. He was known throughout the land for his wit, trickery, and love of stories. But Anansi was also very proud, and he believed that he was the wisest creature in the world. However, he had a problem. He did not want to share his wisdom with others. One day, Anansi decided that he would gather all the wisdom in the world and keep it for himself. If I alone have all the wisdom, he thought, then I will be the greatest and most powerful being in existence. So Anansi spun a strong silk web and began his journey across the land. He travelled to the tallest mountains, the deepest forests, and the farthest villages, collecting bits of wisdom wherever he went. He learned from the wise old tortoise, who taught him patience. He listened to the cunning monkey, who showed him how to escape danger. He even sat with the river, which whispered to him the secrets of time and change. Each time he learned something new, Anansi placed it inside a large hollow gourd. He tied the gourd tightly with vines and carried it on his back, proud that he was now the sole keeper of the world's wisdom. Hiding the wisdom, Anansi knew he had to hide the gourd where no one could find it. If I bury it underground, someone might dig it up. If I leave it in my web, the wind may blow it away, he murmured to himself. Then he had an idea. I will hang it from the tallest tree in the forest. No one will ever think to look there. So Anansi found the tallest tree in the land. It was so high that its top disappeared into the clouds. He tied the gourd to his belly with a strong rope, ready to climb. But as he reached for the tree, the gourd swung forward, bumping into his legs and making it hard for him to move. He tried again, but the heavy gourd knocked against him, making him stumble. Anansi grew frustrated. "Why is this so difficult?" he grumbled. Nearby, his young son Kwekutsin had been watching him. "Father," he called out, "why don't you tie the gourd to your back instead of your belly? That way it won't be in your way." Anansi stopped and thought for a moment.
He admitted. So he untied the gourd from his belly and secured it to his back. This time he climbed the tree easily, moving quickly up the trunk. But just as he reached the top, he paused. If my own son, a mere child, could think of something I had not, then perhaps I do not have all the wisdom after all, he whispered to himself. The gift of wisdom. Anansi sat in the tree for a long time thinking. He realized that wisdom was not something to be hoarded, but something to be shared. If he kept it all to himself, others would never learn, and the world would not grow. With a deep sigh, Anansi untied the gourd and turned it upside down. The wisdom of the world spilled out, floating away with the wind spreading to all corners of the earth. It reached the rivers, the trees, the animals, and the people. Everyone gained a little piece of knowledge, making the world richer and wiser. Anansi climbed down from the tree, feeling lighter than he had ever felt before. He walked home knowing that he had done the right thing. Though he was still clever and full of stories, he was no longer the only wise one. This is why to this day wisdom is found in many places and no single person has it all. And from that day on, wisdom was shared among all living things. Some people became great thinkers, some became skilled builders, and some became storytellers, passing on lessons just as Anansi had once done. It is also why Anansi remains the most famous storyteller, for though he gave away wisdom, he kept the greatest gift of all, the love of stories. And so whenever you hear a tale being told, remember that it is a gift passed down from Anansi the spider, the clever trickster who once tried to keep all wisdom for himself, but instead gave it to the world. The tales remind us that wisdom is a shared journey, enriching lives and creating bonds among all who dare to listen and tell. These shared stories instill a sense of belonging, teaching lessons of love, courage, and the importance of understanding one another. In every corner of the world, the legacy of Anansi continues to thrive, inspiring new generations to find their voices and share their truths.